right, start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night loving kindness meditation. My name is Alex. Wonderful to be here with you today. Ooh, actually feels nice. I like it. So we got some new folks here today. Welcome to all the new folks. Um, just so you know, the classes here all generally run on the same format. We're going to have this short introduction, and then we're going to do a meditation. And this meditation is specifically on loving kindness, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then there's like a short question and answer, and then we go. All right. Um, so for our new people online or here, um, when we say loving kindness, what do we mean? I mean, we kind of think we know, but in Buddhism, it really means it's an all-encompassing kind of thing. It's really kind of hard to explain, but I will try anyway. And then I will read from the Metta Sutra, which will give you even a better explanation of what loving kindness is. The word that we use is metta. That's the Buddhist word, Metta. It's not a Buddhist word. The language is called Pali, and it was a liturgical language that was invented like early in the first couple centuries CE. And it's a language that we think is pretty close to what the historical Buddha spoke. And when translating this word metta into English 2,500 years later, so trying to translate not only the word, but the meaning, you get loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill, concord, amity, inoffensiveness, caring, so many different things that you can't just use one or even two words. And this is actually a good thing because depending on who you're doing this practice for, you can kind of use different words to make it easier for you. So if you're ever doing this practice for your enemy, because in Buddhism we have the enemy, you have to understand that you can have like something goodwill for your enemy, instead of, you don't have to use the word love because love doesn't really come tripping off the tongue for someone you can't stand, you know? Um, and so, this metta is simply just a wish to be happy, a wish for ourselves and others to be happy, and a wish for ourselves and others to do the things that cause happiness. If you want to know what causes happiness, you just go back to the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple. The motto of the Dharma Bum Temple is think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. Now that phrasing, that slogan isn't unique to Buddhism. I think it came from I think it might have come from Zoroastrianism. But we use it because it's meaningful to us. And we know that these things cause happiness, because they're harmless. They don't harm anybody. If they don't harm ourselves, they don't harm another person. So we do this to understand that, we want to be happy. We also want to do the things that cause happiness. We want others to be happy, and we want them to do the things that cause happiness. And this is a good way to look at it, especially if you're doing it for an enemy, because loving kindness is non-harming. Your loving kindness could never get in the way of somebody else's loving kindness, even if you don't like them. So we think about it that way. Another way to understand this practice of loving kindness is to read the Metta Sutra. A sutra is just a teaching, and this actually comes from the Buddhist teaching from 2,500 years ago. This isn't long. This says, "This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another, or despise any being in any state. Let none, through anger or ill will, wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will. Whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. And so that's another way to look at it. It really is all encompassing, and it's not just for a seated practice like we're about to do. We can live our entire life like this if we choose. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and start. Any questions before we start? Okay, so also kind of what I want to do first, kind of tell you how this is going to go. One, I'm going to guide it. So, listen to what I'm saying, but don't, fixate too much on it. Just let the words just kind of wash over you. Everything is pretty easy to understand and follow. So we're first going to do just kind of get in touch with the breath a little bit, just for a few minutes. And then, to start our practice of loving kindness, we're going to start with a benefactor. And a benefactor is anyone who has shown us great love or great kindness, someone it's really easy to have these feelings for. And we're going to either radiate loving kindness to them in however you understand that word, or you can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them, and I'll give you those phrases a little bit later or during the meditation. Then we're going to imagine our benefactor, could be the same one or a different one, doing this practice for us. Right? And just receive all of their loving kindness again. Then we're going to do this practice for ourselves. And then we're going to do it for all beings in all directions. Now, if all beings in all directions is just too much, like you can't really conceive of that or wrap your head around that, that's okay. Can you then just do it for everybody in this room? That's a good place to start. And then go out if you want to, expand that. There's no hard and fast rules here, so just relax into the practice and it'll be good. Now, any questions before we start? Awesome. All right, let's go. So just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that seated position that's nice and comfortable and sustainable, so you're not likely to move around too much. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourselves as a Buddha sitting underneath your own tree of enlightenment, ready for the day's abiding, with your robe and your alms bowl with you. Just enraptured with the peace of seclusion. And so at first, we're just going to get in touch with the breath. So let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. At first, not forcing the breath, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural. And maybe focusing on the breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. Then after a few breaths, just kind of experimenting with the breath to see what kind of breath will keep you grounded and keep you centered, keep you focused on the present moment. Because during this meditation, you always want about 25% of your attention on the breath to keep you grounded. Thinking to yourself, breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. So for the next few moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. And so to begin our formal practice of loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, and goodwill, let's first think of a benefactor. A benefactor, again, is anyone who has shown us great love or great kindness. You know, mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, just anybody really. In gratitude for their love and kindness, we're just going to either radiate loving kindness towards them, wishing them happiness, wishing that they do the things that cause happiness, or just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them. Phrases like, may you be happy, and say their name. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. You can use one or more of those phrases, or any phrase of your own device, so long as it has a loving and kind intention behind it. There's so much flexibility here. Just relax. Think of your benefactor or benefactors. Just wish them loving kindness. And we'll do this for the next few moments. And shifting our focus a little bit from loving kindness for our benefactor, just to now imagining our benefactor, the same or a different one, doing this practice for us. And We already have the experience of their love and kindness. That's why they're a benefactor. Right? And can we then just call that to mind? Imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us, radiating loving kindness to us, wishing us happiness, wishing we do the things that cause happiness. Or you can imagine them repeating these phrases of loving kindness for us or for you. And just allowing all of their loving kindness back into your heart. If there's any tightness or tension going on in the heart, any part of you that says, no, I can't accept all of this, it's all right. Can you then just take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and give that tension some space? Maybe it resolves, maybe it doesn't. Either way is okay, as long as we just give it some space just to kind of do its thing. Keep on doing the practice. You can use as many benefactors as you want. It's always helpful to smile during this portion of the meditation. Smiling puts the mind in a good mood. It helps not take ourselves so freaking seriously. So for the next few moments, we'll imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us. And now shifting our focus again, can we now direct all of our loving kindness to ourselves? At first, just call to mind your own wish to be happy, your own wish to be safe, your own wish to be healthy, to be at peace and at ease. And you can either just radiate loving kindness back onto yourself, or you can just repeat these phrases of loving kindness for yourself. May I be happy. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. Gently listening for that tension. Just breathing into it if you can. Nice and easy and gentle. You don't have to force anything to happen in this part of the meditation. So we'll do this practice of loving kindness now for ourselves. And finally, the last part of our meditation is, can we now explore the limitless potential of the heart to include everyone in our loving kindness practice, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded. May all beings be at ease, radiating kindness over the entire world. Or if that's just too big too soon, can you wish loving kindness for everybody in this room, all gathered together here for a common purpose, to meditate, to suffer less, to love ourselves more? Then, when we're comfortable doing that, can we expand it? So, we'll do this to end our meditation. Just gently open your eyes when you're ready. And just taking the next moment or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs, keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you. We're going to open it up for questions in about a minute or so. And so, if you have any questions about the meditation or anything else Buddhism related, I'm happy to try to answer those for you. We'll just give it another 30 seconds or so. Okay. I don't know about you, but man, that was fast. Oof. For those of you relatively new to meditation, you meditated for a long time, and that's actually it's a really good thing. It's hard to meditate for a long time when you first started. That was like 29 minutes. Did anybody have any difficulty because of the time? The length of meditation? Nice. Good. How about any questions on the instructions at all? Hopefully they were relatively straightforward, but hey, you never know. All right, like I said, for me, I don't know why. That was really, really fast. It just kind of just went like that. I just have to be mindful of how I lead meditation because I want to give equal time to the different sections of this meditation. So I always have to be mindful of that and look at the clock and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just remember like I stopped giving the instruction on one of them, and it's like I closed my eyes, and next thing I know, I remember just to kind of peek. I was like, oh, it's time for the next section. Okay, I don't know what that means, but it was just kind of an interesting experience for me. All right, how about any of you? Meditation. In meditation, you can have a lot of different types of experiences. Um, we don't really harp on any one experience, but we note them, and they are interesting, of course. Um, and your experiences will change over time, as you do meditation, loving kindness meditation. Um, so you can talk about uh, anything that was easy, not so easy, an interesting thing that came up during meditation. Um, Anybody want to share their experience of meditation? I'd love to hear it. Or questions about anything. Hi, Jennifer.
Yeah, whenever you mentioned the smiling aspect, that always helps so much.
Mm-hmm.
Just really puts you in an uplifting mood.
Yeah, just smiling puts the mind in a good mood. I mean, you don't have to like overly fake it, but it's just a gentle smile. You can when you take a look at these tankas here, these paintings, or the statues, the statuary in Buddhism, and so often there's always a slight smile on the face. Ever so slight. And that just kind of represents the joy of that kind of absorption. Um, and it's really, really helpful. So often we take ourselves so seriously. And it's understandable, of course, because usually, so often when we come to meditation, we're in a great deal of pain. That's why we're meditating, right? Because we're suffering so much, we want to end our suffering, at least lessen it somehow. So it's normal just to kind of be serious about it, but relax. It's okay. You can do both. You can be serious about meditation and still smile and kind of relax during it. Just feel so much better. Anyone else?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had a similar experience to last time I was here, with my body getting really hot,
Mm-hmm.
and especially like my head and my, just at certain spots. It was
Mhm.
a different spot this
Mhm.
time. The benefactor was giving it to the loving kindness to me,
Mm-hmm.
and then again, when I was at the end to everyone, it's
Mhm.
almost like I got overwhelmed, and for some reason, this is a new thing that my body is doing
Mm-hmm.
when I'm getting overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
It happened at least 2-3 times this week in different situations
Mm-hmm.
that my mind started to race or whatever, and something was coming up, and it was just a normal like anxiety thing. All of a sudden, like it's almost like a hot flash, but I'm already past that stage, so I know that's not what it is this time. It's like a spiritual hot flash
Right.
of some sort
Right.
that I haven't been able to pinpoint. But what a joy to have it come up in this space again.
Yeah.
So excited to try to figure it out. I have no clue what it is, because it isn't just, I've had other times of anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't happen.
Right.
It's a very specific kind
Mm-hmm.
that's arising during meditation. So
That is really interesting. So do you find that you're yes, I understand that you're doing a loving kindness meditation, of course, but that you're feeling anxious and that's why it's happening, or
maybe, because I had to rein it back in when I was like, okay, and then just started to give the loving kindness to everyone there. Oh, and then it was just, I started to get overwhelmed with it. I'm like,
Mhm.
bring it back into the room. Bring
yeah.
it back to just right here, maybe the people at work.
Yeah.
Maybe just, and I kind of talked myself back to, so maybe it is that kind of a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
That is
so pay
interesting.
attention. Yes, because it hit me a couple of times, like I said this week, and I'm like, what's going on? What situation am I in? Why am I feeling this? Why am I, have to open the windows up? And,
Well, just the fact that you're able to do something like that, that's mindful, and say, hey, what's going on here?
yeah, and then it would go away.
Yeah.
I would bring my mind to it,
Mm-hmm.
and then, 30
Mhm.
seconds later, it's gone. Same with sitting here.
Mhm.
Oh, whoa, I'm really hot. Maybe I should take my jet. I don't want to disturb
Mhm.
everyone. Unzip, and take that. I'll be fine. But
Mhm.
let me just shift where I'm going with my mind, and it went away.
Yeah. And that happens with me too sometimes. And like when I meditate at home, I have a meditation, well, it's a combination space. I have a meditation like little area in my second bedroom. And sometimes, even though I have like the fan, I have a ceiling fan, right? And it's going and I feel cool, I just get so hot. I said, because how to just take my shirt off? It's like, okay, I'm here alone, so that's okay. um, and because it really, my body just gets hot. I don't know why. It just gets hot.
Okay, so you don't know either, right?
No,
Okay.
I mean it's. I know it's a little bit of overwhelm, but to pinpoint that overwhelm, not exactly sure quite yet. The body does funny things, and that's what's also interesting. The different ways the body reacts to different stimuli, like mental stimuli, like stress, anxiety, and even loving kindness. I know Jeff did that thing where you put all the electrodes on your head, and they kind of measure and you do like a compassion or a loving kindness meditation, and like in some other room, all of the neurobiologists are looking at like the readings and all that kind of stuff. I wonder. I don't know. I know that they do that, but I've never seen actual a lot of results. So I'll ask Jeff if he saw his results. That'd be interesting. Okay, we have a question here. This is Brian and Linda. I heard you have trouble thinking of that if you have trouble thinking of a benefactor, then you can use a loving being like a pet. I thought that was helpful. Sure, there's a lot of flexibility here. Sometimes we have trouble thinking of a benefactor. You know, like, I mean, they're there. If you're alive, somebody has been kind to you in your life. You know, you may not be able to think of that person immediately, but you know, you can think of a pet. Absolutely, pets give nothing but loving kindness to you. You know, so if it makes it easier, absolutely. Or you can even think of something, a kind act that somebody did for you. It's a kind act. Somebody who opened the door for you. Somebody who, you know, who said thank you or said something nice to you. You know, something like that is perfectly fine. But you know, so often, like Brian and Linda was saying here, I think that's Linda, right? Yeah, just do what you can do. If you can think of a pet and that's going to do it for you, absolutely, absolutely. Life is hard enough. Don't make it harder in meditation. Right? Anyone else?
I tend to get lost in meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very good when you tell us where we are.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
Who's on first here?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we guide it. Because it's like, hey, you know, our minds are not trained. You know, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's just our minds are untrained, and we, you know, this practice of Buddhism is a mind training and a heart training. And part of that is understanding where we are, you know, and part of that is noticing, you know, hopefully when we get lost, that we can bring ourselves back. And that's a whole mindfulness exercise.
I think when you, in another class, you mentioned just saying thinking, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's also the idea of the, like, those roll-up animals that are dolls that go that way, but then bring you back. So there's some real good metaphors or analogies.
Yeah, we have so many good like training techniques and ways to look at things and strategies for mindfulness and to bring ourselves back and to not be so hard on ourselves just because we get lost in thought for 20 minutes of a 30-minute meditation, which I have done many times. You know, because I'll be honest, sometimes it just feels so good being lost in thought. And I know that that's not good, that you're not being mindful, that you're not training the mind. And that's like a thing that that I still struggle with sometimes, you know, it's like, oh, this feels so good just to think about, you know, a peaceful meadow and, you know, revenge fantasies on people I hate. And, but you know, that's like counterproductive to everything that I'm trying to do in this practice, you know? Yeah, hi.
So the initial, pick a benefactor, super easy, right?
Well, for some, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, check. But the part of sitting and receiving the loving kindness from someone was actually the part where I kind of stumbled through
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh.
Because it was fine for a while, and then I found myself like, oh no, I'll project it back to you. You know what I mean? But I was supposed to be receiving.
Right.
So I would say that was something that I experienced, but I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's great. That's awesome. And it probably happens for a lot of other people too. You know, I do that just before the loving kindness for ourself portion, because I'm just trying to like ease you into loving kindness for yourself. So maybe if there's a known benefactor, somebody you know and love who's doing this for you, and they're a benefactor for a reason because they've already shown us love and kindness. Now, can I just, you know, kind of think of that again and allow that into my heart, it gives us a clue as to how easy loving kindness for ourselves is going to be. Because we do it, the first two parts to kind of tenderize ourselves, to tenderize our heart a little bit, so that loving kindness for ourselves becomes easier. And it's amazing how much we want to push that away, how it's so foreign to us that someone could really love us, that we could feel this from another person, and that we could feel that we're deserving of this and worthy of this from another person, that we can just, oh no, this is so foreign, I can't do this. So our natural inclination, and it is a natural inclination, is to push that away. It's like, no, I'll just give it to you. And so just note it. Know that in Buddhism, just like we said in the Metta Sutra, or not in the Metta Sutra, but kind of our strategy is that we have in us the potential, the seed of enlightenment, of loving kindness, of compassion for all beings in all directions. That is our potential. Now, we're all at different places at our potential, but that is our potential, everybody. And we can do it. And so this continued practice will help make it easier for us to do that. Because if you can have this experience of loving kindness in your own heart, because this is an experiential practice, if you can experience it for yourself and know what it feels like, you would never want to harm another person. And it would be like like free flowing out of your heart always. People who are really good at this are the Tibetans and Tibetan Buddhism. They have a huge, very serious practice of compassion from when they're little baby people to when they become monks. A lot of them and practices daily. They are the most, and if you watch them, they are the most wonderful, kindest, like open-hearted people you will ever meet. And it just flows out of them. It's so easy for them. And this idea of not liking yourself or hating yourself and thinking that you're not worthy is such a foreign, unknown concept to them. But it's so natural for us. So that's, an idea of kind of where we want to get to. It takes some time, but we can do it. But I'm glad you're admitting it. Because it's true. It's true for most of us. You guys, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for being here. So before we end, we have a couple of announcements. And so we're going to have Travis back there with our announcements.
Hello, everyone. I'm tonight's host, Travis. We opened the Dharma Bum Temple 17 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice. Every night we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recovery sangha that meets several times a week for anyone battling addiction, and our food redistribution program is every Thursday at 5 p.m. We have classes and programs every day, and everything we offer here is always free. The full schedule is on our website and also posted in the entryway above the shoe rack. We also have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow it and bring it back whenever you're done with it. Please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out. And if a few people could stay, thank you for being here.
Usually we have to stay to close all the windows and stuff, but they're all closed. It's okay. All right, guys, let's join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion be received by all beings. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and week, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Thank you.
Yeah.